Hey, it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of American Legion Radio. We're at the Navy League Council of New York in Manhattan today. Great national security briefing and a chance to meet Lieutenant General David Bellon, Marine Corps officer. How is it for you to be in New York City today?
Yeah, it's great. Great to visit with the Navy League and a beautiful day in New York.
You got two commands, the Marine Forces Reserve and Marine Forces South. Tell us about them. You mentioned you've got 100,000 Marines in the reserve program. Tell us about that.
Yeah, they're different flavors of service. You have a number that are in traditional formations, think battalions, squadrons, dets, and then you have others that are in what's called the individual ready to reserve, who are Marines that are typically finishing out their active duty contracts with 2 years of obligated service still in the reserves.
And you mentioned that with the retirement plan in the military changing, that reserves are going to be even more important.
Yeah, I think in general in the future, the blended career that a reservist has, where he or she brings the skill sets that they gather in their civilian job and the professionalism, the professional military skill sets to bear, that combination is going to become more and more critical in the future.
Good, and you described your responsibilities for Marine Forces South, involving South America. Tell us a little bit about what that covers.
Yeah, so I am the Marine Corps' representative to Southern Command, which is General Richardson. That's 31 countries across Central America, Latin America in general, South America, and then the Caribbean.
Very good. In your remarks, you talked about change, the change in threats, adversaries, and the role of the Marine Corps, and you point out 2030 as a key date that the Marine Corps and the military needs to prepare for. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Force Design 2030 is the date that we have arrived at, that it's critical for us to achieve these future capabilities and distribution in order to first deter future threats, and then if the deterrence does not work, to be successful in any future conflict.
You mentioned the increasing surveillance from space, from drones, radar, all sorts of ways adversaries can track the U.S. and the U.S. tracks adversaries. Why is that growing so fast?
Well, I think it's a dedicated investment by our potential adversaries, to include China, to dominate and to expand their abilities in space and in the information domain. And that's critical in this era of persistent surveillance that we're entering. So that persistent surveillance enables this long-range strike, which they're also pursuing.
And you mentioned working with partners in South America, developing partners for the United States. Why is that an important need right now?
Well, these countries have been our historic partners. We have great values-based alignment. We believe in individual sovereignty. We believe in the freedom of expression. We believe in democratically elected governments and holding our governments accountable. And but they are impoverished. A lot of those countries are impoverished. And so when China comes in and offers massive offerings financially, whether it's the Belt and Road Initiative or anything else, these countries are vulnerable. Their sovereignty is vulnerable because they get trapped into this debt diplomacy. And so it's in our interest to constantly demonstrate alignment with them, partnership with them, and provide protection for them.
And you mentioned, described your pride in being a Marine and the importance of winning when you go into a conflict representing the United States. What does it take? How does the Marine Corps prepare to win its fights?
Well, I think first and foremost, we openly understand and value our culture. We are in the business of getting in and winning battles. We win battles for the nation. That's what we do. And whatever it takes to do that is how we will adjust our formations and our training and our equipment and all the things that goes into that. So that has always got to be our first driving concern, is winning future battles.
Absolutely. Final question I always like to ask guests is, what was your highlight? What's been your highlight so far in your service in the Marine Corps?
I think my highlight is, day to day I'm very blessed. I've got a chance for well over 3 decades to watch young emerging leaders develop and to develop a skill set and have success. And for me, that's always been the juice, whether it's a corporal or a captain or a lieutenant colonel or a sergeant major, to see leaders emerge and gain confidence and competence.
Well, Lieutenant General David Bellon, so good to see you here at the Navy League. And on behalf of everyone, thank you for your service to our country.
Hey, thanks for having me.